Kishu Krishna, Kishu Kyuket, Kishu Quiet, Kapanishkish, Ugashi Kansuke Tashmir. Hello everyone, my name is Peter White, and I'm coming to you from the unceded Coast Salish territories of the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh people, also known as Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And today is a topic about chapters and growing and flourishing and trying new things in life. You know, that's what this podcast is about. This is what I created this podcast for, to inspire others to create a life they love waking up to every day. And that's what this Wealthy Warrior community is about. It's about guiding you through the things I've done in my life to get where I'm at in life. You know, the things that I've learned to heal myself, the things that I experience on a day-to-day basis. This is what this podcast is about. And I'm starting a new chapter in my life. As many of you know, I was recently I moved up to foreman on my job site, and it's been going really good. Just the hours are a lot of hours. You know, I'm working 66, 68 hour weeks. On top of that, you know, posting content, going to the gym, trying to learn every day, investing in myself, investing in my health, my wellness, you know, meditating, stretching, doing all those things I do, trying to get a good night's sleep. You know, I try to get at least 6.5, if not more, sleep. You know, I would love 7.5 hours of sleep every night, but on my schedule that I work, it's kind of hard to do that. But I was promoted to foreman, and then another opportunity arose. The construction company I work for is called BCIB, and it's a newer thing here in British Columbia, but they're trying to take on construction sites through the government. So they're a government job, but I'm also a union, so they subcontract the trades, or whatever trade on the jobs they need, they subcontract to them, and that's where I came in on the ironworkers side. And they actually opened up a position for an Indigenous stewardship role. And I was like, hey, you know what? I looked at the description, and I'm like, I think I'd be good at that, at the role. So I made up a resume. Well, I had a resume made up. I just kind of did a little bit of touching up on my resume. I applied, and boom. Within that same day that I applied, I had a phone call asking me if I wanted to come in for an interview, because they would love to have me on their team. And I actually had done a performance for a lot of them back in June on Indigenous Heritage Month here in Canada. We have our Indigenous Day on the 20th, June 20th. That's also summer solstice. And I did a performance for them, and they really enjoyed that. So a lot of people, there was already that rapport there, and I was already an employee through BCIB on the trade side. So I said, yeah, you know, I'll come in and check it out. So I went in, and I felt like I nailed the interview. You know, I was just myself. I didn't overthink anything. I answered honestly. You know, I was like, hey, if I get it, I get it. I don't. And a little bit of time went by, and then I heard back from them, and I had found out I got the job, and they really wanted me to join. And it's a big step. It's a big step because I'm used to the blue collar work. I'm used to the 7 to 3 or 7 to 5 or 7, those 7 a.m., those early starts. And I'm used to working with my hands. As a foreman, it's more thinking and planning and foreseeing and things like that. But I'm still out, I'm still out in the elements. I'm still out in the job site. I'm still out there. And this is a big change because I'm under a contract. They have stat holidays. They have. It's not like the trades. In the trades, I can say work from September to June, and then I just take a layoff or ask to come back, and I take the summer off and I travel. And then if the job's there, it is. If it's not, I just post it to my union and I get a new job. I wait for a new job to happen. And with this is steady work. This is contract. This is corporate. This is different, but they're really big on pushing reconciliation for Indigenous people. So I had a few questions on my end, and my summer is right. I won't be taking as much time off in the summer, but that's okay. I'll still be taking some time off to travel, and I will be vlogging, and I will be doing those things. That was the biggest thing for me, was that time off approval. Because as you know, I love traveling around. I love meeting people. I just love being on that powwow trail, and that's a big part of my life now, and that's something I look forward to, and that's why I grind fall and winter and spring, so I can enjoy my summers. And I shoot my shot. I shooted my shot, and I threw out some days off and some numbers, and I had already had some time booked off for performances and things like that were prior commitments, and I had talked to them about that. I talked to the lady in HR, and she's like, yeah, sure, just shoot over your dates, and we'll talk to so-and-so, and we'll see if we get approved. So I sent that off Tuesday morning. It was Monday morning I sent that off, and I didn't hear anything back all week. Nothing Friday, and I'm like, okay, maybe they don't want to do it. And first thing Monday morning, 9 o'clock rolls around, and boom, my clockwork. Contract was sent over. It was approved. My days off was approved. So the only thing that was kind of holding me back was my summers, and I don't know if you've ever been in a position like that to change. Basically, I'm changing fields. I'm changing something I've been doing for about a decade now into something totally new, into an atmosphere and environment that I'm not used to. And you start to get that self-talk, and then you compare the fields. You compare it to see if the grass is greener on your side or it's on the other side. And I stopped, and I said, you know what, Napika, answer my prayers, because I've actually been kind of looking for something different. I kind of want to grow and expand, and I've been looking, and there's been other roles that have come up, but that didn't suit me 100%. But this one was this job, I tell people the description of it, and they're like, wow, this job was meant for you. That's what multiple people have told me. This job was meant for me. It was created for me. Just the type of person I am, who I am in the community, or how long I've been in the trades. And they were like, you should take that, and it will give me that work-life balance. Right now I'm working 67, 68 hours a week, and on this job it's 37 and a half hours. So it's literally half the amount of hours I'm working. And you know what the amazing part is? 3 days out of the week I work from home. Wow. I don't have to get out in the elements. I don't have to be in the rain or the snow. It's gonna suck not being out in the sun all the time. That's because it's been sunny here the last few days here around Vancouver, and it's been amazing working in the sun. But I won't have to work in the rain. I won't have to work in the snow. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I stopped myself, and it's like, you know what? You talk about this stuff, Peter. You preach about this on your social media. You have this podcast. You talk about these things. Napika, creator, has answered your prayers. Take it before it gets worse. I'm a big believer in that. Napika, creator, is always giving us signs. Here you go. Here's your sign. If you don't listen, I'm gonna make it worse. And I said, you know what? If it doesn't work out, I can always go back to being an iron worker. I can always go back to the field. I can always go back to doing what I know. But if this works out, what if it does work out? Because we always dwell on the negative things in life. Like we look at what happens if this? What happens if I don't do good? What happens if they fire me? What happens? We always look at the negative things, right? And I'm the exact same way. But I was like, what if it works out? What if I love this job? What if I help more people? What if? And I started looking at the positive things. And I thought about it. I was like, I'm going to sleep over it, because I had nothing holding me back at that point, because they agreed with what I was inside of me was conflicting. My summers and my traveling and powwows, and there was nothing in my way anymore. It's like that. It's like if you have an animal who's always been in your house, and you've kept them inside in their house pet, and then they try to get outside, but then that door opens, and they get there, and they stand at that door, and they look at the big world, and they don't go out the door because they're scared, because they've never experienced that zone, that atmosphere. They've never been out there. That's what I was feeling like in that moment. But I was like, hey, if I just take this step, maybe something amazing is going to happen. I'm a big believer of chapters and moving on, and like trying new things. And Napika has that path for us, creator. And I signed the contract, and I felt really good. I felt really happy, to experience something new. A kid that, as a kid I was very troubled, and as a kid I didn't even, this is one of the things that really like gets me down at times, and I'm really hard about myself on this, but I can always go back to it. I was a very troubled kid as a teenager, and I never graduated high school. So where I'm at in life and the money I make through the trades, when I was a teenager, like I made it all the way to basically grade 12, and then I dropped out. And that's one thing that I'm very like, I'm not confident in telling people. That makes me feel, stupid, and it makes me feel lower and less than other people. But I'm not, and I know that I'm not, because my ancestors, our people's ways, we never had this school thing and graduating. And yes, I'm not saying it's not important to get at least your grade 12 minimum, but there are a lot of people in this world who succeeded and exceeded in their life and accelerated with not being a high school graduate. And for me to make it as far as I have in the trades, and to make the money and the income I do, I'm truly grateful for it, and the knowledge that I have now. Because when I was a kid, I was not interested in learning at all. And like now, like I just love learning. I love growing. I love expanding. Every morning I'm trying to listen to something new, something, a podcast, an audiobook. I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to grow. I'm always trying to expand. I'm always trying to help people. And it's crazy, you know, in different chapters in your life, you can look back and look at yourself and reflect. And yeah, you know, the school, I feel like the system is broken. You know, they teach us things. They teach a lot of kids things that honestly they're not interested in. You know, the school system is broken, and I think if we focused on teaching kids on what they're good at and what their dreams are, they would truly succeed so much easier. It'd be like that flow. And I looked at, you know, I got my recent transcript from school, and it's funny because the things that I did really well in shows where I'm at in life now. You know, I was in woodworks and I was in metal fab shop, and those two classes those are my highest grades I got, and that and math I was pretty good at. And it's funny, with ironworking we use a lot of math and we use our hands and we're building things, and you know, we're fabbing steel, and I just, you know, and I know, you know, I don't want to sound too cocky and too confident in myself, but I know I'm a decent iron worker. I know what I'm doing, and I understand things, and you know, I have a brain, right? So I'm okay at it, you know. I'm okay at ironworking. And it's funny when I look back and I realize that, wow, these were the things I did in school, and that's basically what I do in ironworking. So it's kind of funny, right? So this is like a whole new chapter in my life. And that means I'll have more time to create content. I'll have more time to put more effort in this podcast. You know, I'm a little half-fasting it right now, but that's okay, you know, because I'm still putting it out. I'm still putting the work in. I'm still doing it. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens in this next chapter in my life. And if you're in the same part of your life where something else keeps coming up, do it. Just do it, no matter what it is. If it's a relationship, say someone's coming after you, pursuing you, like they were trying to get your attention. They're trying to, go after you. If you're that person that has been heartbroken in the past, that's a part of life. That's a part of growing. That's what relationships are. Take your time with it though. Move into it slowly. You're gonna have to go through heartbreaks in order to grow, in order to know what you want, in order to understand what you want in a relationship. Holding yourself back from moving into a relationship isn't gonna do you any good. You're never gonna understand if you've healed enough. You're never gonna, experience that life with a partner. You're never gonna experience new things that way. If it's a job, like me, if there's something happening, go for it. Because you know what? If you fail, you can always go back to that other job. You can always go back to where you worked before. Because you have those set of skills that makes you good at that job. Start a new chapter in your life if you're getting those signs to do it. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to regret the failures. You're going to regret the what ifs. What if I did that? I don't want to go to my deathbed thinking, what happened? What if I took that job? What could have been of Peter White if he took that job? No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to see what's going to happen of it. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. That's a part of life. That's growing. We got to grow through life. So with that, I am going to jump off now. I challenge you this week to start the next chapter in your life. Close that other chapter and start fresh. Spring is here. Flowers are growing. The birds are, coming out. Animals are coming out. the bears. It's full of life. Now it's your time to spring into your next chapter. Sukani for tuning in. I will see you next Wednesday on my Wealthy Warriors. Dagas, and remember, everything always happens for the right reasons. Take care.